Alrighty, so welcome to the fourth module, fourth lesson, number 4, whatever you'd like to call it. And this one is tables and slicers. So first we're going to start off with a little bit of PowerPoint. Right here I have a screenshot of one of the tables that I have. It's kind of like a life planner here. I have a few different sections, few different categories. And right here I have the week that everything is due, the due date, category, class, assignment, which is like a short description, and then whether or not I completed it. So that just kind of shows you like the features that a table can have. And here I have it sorted in some way. I have it sorted by date there, so you can see that as well. And if we go to this next one, we can see a slicer. This is what a slicer is like. It makes it look a lot easier, a lot cleaner. So pretty much instead of like going and clicking and trying to figure out what you want in the data, you can just go back to the slicer. So you want like something in business class or whatever, then bam, you have that data. So now we're going to go into Excel. Alrighty, so now we're in Excel. This is a bit of sample data I took from some of my own purchases last year. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of these hashtags real quick. And let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and add some headings to these columns. So we have date, we have place of purchase. As you can see, these are all Amazon purchases. So that's going to be, we don't need that one. I'm going to get rid of that column. Simple, just right click, delete. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. This is my notes. I'm going to get rid of that as well. Delete, right click. And this is going to be category. Category, I think that's how you spell it, something like that. And then price. So let me get rid of some of the data here that we don't need. This is going to be transaction type. Alright, so it looks like we have everything now. So I'm just going to go ahead, double click. This is just me. I just like to go ahead and click and make sure each thing has space. And because this is a credit card, each one of these are going to be negative now that it's an expense. So here's another equation or another Excel formula. If you go ahead, click equals ABS, and then we're going to reference that cell. And something that'll give you the absolute value, the value from 0, positive value. Something I haven't showed you yet is we're going to go ahead and in this little corner, if you get the bottom right corner of the cell, you'll get this little plus. And that means you can drag the formula all the way down. And now it's going to give me the absolute value of this cell that I referenced for every cell because it's going to copy. So now we have our absolute values. That's what we're going to be working with. I'll call this abs value. Because if I try to make a chart or anything, or a table or anything with this, it'll be upside down. So yeah, we don't want that. But what do I have? I have so I have 55 entries here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different headers. Like I said before, I have my transaction type, which we've eliminated everything, just expenses now. Date of purchase, place of purchase, category, price, and then the absolute value, which is what we'll be using mainly for a table or for a graph or anything like that. So let's see. Typically, whenever you have a large data set like this, anything in the first row is going to be your headers and anything like that, and anything in the first column is going to start to be your first data entry. Will be right here in the second row, I mean. But yeah, anything like, I've seen spreadsheets. I have a spreadsheet on here that's about 12,000 different rows, so you're scrolling forever. But these things can get pretty large. So now that a table part. So to create a table, we're just going to select anywhere in the data and click insert right up there, table, and we have headers already. Usually you want the headers, that way you just select my table has headers. And then just like magic. So now we have that, and this is actually really cool, this table and everything. So there's a new tab up here, and I've discussed all the tabs and everything. If you see I click out of the table, it goes away. If I click in, it's this design table tab, and there's a lot of things you can do with a table actually. So each header, one of the main things, it looks different now. There's filters and everything, not on that one, but we'll use categories, for example. Anything in there. Date would be a good one. I have one of my values off. I have a 2029 in there. Let's get rid of that. 2019. There we go. Now everything should be, yep. Okay, so everything is by month now. If you click again in these pluses, you'll get specific days and cool stuff like that. So yeah, we have table, we have the filters and all that good stuff. So now I'm going to go for a specific one. So say I'm looking for a specific electronic purchase that was in the month of November. And there we go. Now we have 4 different ones, and we could break it down even further if I have more data. I got rid of the data that I had in here because it really wasn't like relevant, but now we have 4 here, and then I can break it down even more if I was like, well, I think it was a $15 purchase. Then there we go. We have that. But we can make this even easier to figure out data and stuff by adding a total row. So I'm going to go ahead, uncheck each one of these, and click Table Design, Table Tools, Total Row. At the bottom, it'll be in there. And now I haven't, let me go ahead and select a cash value for all these. So there we go. Now everything has a dollar amount. So we can see within this time period, I spent $1,500 on Amazon. Pretty decent amount, so not ashamed of it at all. All kinds of good electronics and stuff for my business, and stuff for my brother, ebooks, housewares, all kinds of good stuff. So just a little in look into my life. I don't think in look's a word, now it is. So we have all that. The cool thing about this total row though is there's a lot you can do even with this. You can do the average, so my average transactions about 27, or my average order is $27.26. The most I spent was $190.77. That was a fridge I bought for my dorm room. My minimum was $149. Not sure what that was, maybe an interest charge or something there. Standard deviation, about how far it is from the mean, from the average, so 30.89. And variance, which is just the standard deviation squared. We'll go into that in a separate class. But for now, we can do the count as well. So I have 55 transactions in there. For now, we're going to stick with the sum. So that sums every value in that absolute value column. And if we go back to the transactions again, and we're looking for electronics, I want to see how much I spent on electronics in November. We're going to uncheck and then check November, and I spent $88.83 in electronics in November. And if I want to see how much I spent on everything in November, I spent $214.28, and that was mainly because of Christmas gifts. So I'm one of those people that like to purchase early sometimes, so good stuff there. But we'll go ahead and unselect everything and undo everything. So let's see now. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to sort the table here as well. So I have date. The date should be sorted already. Let me check here. Sort oldest to newest. Yeah, it looked like one thing was out of order. I can sort by price as well. Smallest to largest. So there we go. All those transactions there. I can sort by category. That would sort A to Z to category. So we can see a good amount of my purchases are electronics, a few gifts, some housewares, some self-defense, stuff like that. It's like pepper spray, good stuff like that. and we can always unfilter if we go up here. So I have the filter and category, sort and filter, clear. It returns everything, or removes the filter at least, but I did have it originally filtered for date, so we'll go up there, clear the filter, and there we are. So the other thing now was the slicers. So I'm going to blow your mind with this next one. So you click in the table again, click design, insert slicer, and we're going to create two different slicers. We're going to create a date slicer and a price slicer. And then, bam, pop those up. Actually, I said we were going to work with the absolute value slicer, or absolute values. So insert slicer, absolute value. Okay, there we are. So the cool thing about the slicers is it'll automatically sort based on A to Z or lowest to highest or whatever you want. So you can do that. There's a bunch of slicer settings over there you can change. But now, instead of looking for anything or like clicking through each one, now I can just be like, all right, so I'm going to look through purchases just in November. So I'm going to click and drag. Those are my purchases just in November. Be like, I know it was $24 purchase. And then that's easy. To go back, you just unfilter. Pretty much it's just a visual filter. If I want to see when I made some of these purchases, like my purchases under $10, I can see it was kind of all throughout the year, more in the latter end of the year, like the latter half of the year. So that's cool too. It's pretty much, I think I said, like a visual filter, so it's good for that. So that's tables and slicers, and you can pretty much change anything about the table. If you click the table, you can change the, let's mess around with it a little bit. Ooh, we'll go like a cool blue there, and then we can change the slicers to have like a, what do we want, like a gray look. There we go. We'll make that one yellow, like a grain yellow. There we go. So now it looks, the total rows gonna look a little different, and you can customize, like, these are crazy. You can customize anything here. If you go to table styles and new table style, it brings up this whole menu where literally any single thing you can customize, and it's sweet. So I have a few I think I had one, let's see here, maybe I didn't. No, I had one on my other computer. I have like a black and yellow one for Pittsburgh stuff, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's tables for you. Just showing you like how tables and slicers make finding and organizing data a lot easier and faster. And in this last section, this number 5, I'm going to introduce you graphs in Excel and a few other things like printing stuff in Excel and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that one. And yeah, thanks for watching.